What's good, everybody? It's the third episode of the Step Back here. Your host, Robert Aguirre. Alongside me, as always, we got Choder, we got Marlyn, and then you see today, we got someone new joining the Step Back. We got Ben Repay. How you been, man?
I'm good. I finally got work figured out, so I'm excited. Talk some basketball with you guys. I've been looking at it from afar, so I'm excited to, release some frustrations, talk about some basketball.
Yeah, there's been a long time coming, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like I don't get to talk to people about basketball anymore because I just graduated, so I'm not with friends or anything, so I'm trying to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You got strong opinions too.
Yeah, we always have the good subtle talks, even like me and you on Snapchat, especially during football season. Even, during bull season now, we'll subtly talk to each other, but we can get our little rants on. At least it's All-Star weekend. We don't got too much to rant about right now.
Not yet. Bulls haven't been making me too mad, so that's good.
It's been a fun team to watch this year. But what about you, Choder? How you been doing since last week?
I'm doing all right, bro. Excited. Finally can record the podcast a little bit earlier. The team I work for, our season came to an end, but we had a good run. I had fun doing it, but I'm excited to move on and graduate school and ready to get this podcast thing going full throttle now that we got Ben.
So how did the tournament go?
It was rough. Who ended up winning?
Well, just anything. Because I know there was a lot of games going on over there at a PW.
Yeah, so it was there was a lot of upsets. I can't tell you too much about too many scoreboards, but the 1 seed got taken down, Wayne State. This is Division II, so most college basketball fans probably don't know too many of these teams, but Wayne State got taken down, and they were pretty they were rolling too. They got two good guards that I don't know how they ain't playing Division I basketball, but it was a lot of upsets. We didn't. We were close, but we didn't get it. And I think the team that beat us went on to win the whole thing. I may be wrong on that. I can fact check myself. But a couple of those teams now are in the NCAA tournament, so that's real exciting for them. And hopefully Purdue can find themselves in that position.
Have they made the bracket already?
That's next week.
Yeah.
Or this weekend. I mean, I believe it's Sunday. It's going to be a bracket picks and everything. My Hoosiers won't be in there again.
Less about college basketball these past few years.
Yeah, it's been rough. Last year I was really excited that IU could have probably made it, but definitely won't this year because they ain't gonna win nothing until Archie Miller's gone. If we're being honest.
Good though. I know you don't care because you're an IU fan.
Yeah, I don't care. But I know, I know IU hasn't beat Purdue with the last 9 or 10 games. At Ben's whole time at Purdue, they never lost to IU. So, but IU's a football school now, so that's the way that we're headed. But shout out to Illinois. Probably going to be a number 1 seed. Chicago kid being their best player too. So it's always more exciting to see that. It also sucks too. For us, we're I wouldn't say we're personally connected, but at least through where we all went to high school, we're kind of connected to Drake basketball because of Roman Penn. They would have probably made some noise in the tournament if he didn't get hurt. Really sucks seeing him good. Yeah. I believe it was an ankle surgery he had. Something with his leg. But he'll be back next year. So I'll be rooting for him again next year. I'm excited for the tournament. So we'll definitely do something next week talking about maybe the bracket picks and everything. A little bit of a segment on that, seeing what's going to happen going on there. Maybe this will be the year one of us pick a perfect bracket. Probably won't happen, but it won't happen. But we can definitely try to do something. What about you, Marlyn? How's your last week been?
It's been pretty good. Today was all right. It's been a long day, as all weekdays are for me. I enjoyed the weather. I can't wait till it's 95.
That's too nah.
It was way too hot.
95. I remember that tweet where I said I'd rather be 95 than -5.
Such a drastic difference.
It's so nice outside. It's 94 out. I'm like, no, it's not.
I feel like I'm burnt as soon as I walk outside when it's 95.
hella being cooked. Speaking of hot temperatures, I got some chicken in the oven right now. So I might have to go. I might have to go check on that in a little bit. I don't want to burn it.
How'd you season it?
I might have some. I might have one of my butlers take it out. But
How'd I season it? You said you're what?
You heard me. But you said how did I season it?
Yeah, like what kind of chicken?
I got it's just drums. It's kind of I've been spending way too much money on food. Like
it's been years.
Like 80% of my wealth all the time is going to food probably.
And 10% of it's gas.
Nah, 10% of it was the car. 2% has been gas. I probably spent like literally 1,000 times more on food than gas. But anyway, I put adobo. That's a baseline. That's the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then I only put lemon, pepper, and Cajun seasoning because I couldn't find nothing else. So it's been a minute since I cooked because I've been finding meals.
Here, let me ask you this. Ways. This is an important question. All right. Say you have 5 miles left on your car, right? But you're really hungry. You gonna go fill up your car or you're gonna get food?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get stranded, so realistically I probably would get the gas.
But would you only pull like 1 or 2 gallons or are you gonna fill it up?
Oh, am I close to home?
You want to come home for the weekend, but you're at school.
I don't like this question, but I'll say that I'll probably put a few gallons in, and then it depends. Or you probably should have asked a specific place of food, because if it's
you want to eat pretty good. It's not fast food. It's not somewhere with a drive-through. You just want to eat pretty good.
I'm saying, but if you would have said a specific place, like
I don't know,
like a Barona or a Portillo's or something, maybe.
No drive-through. Say you want to eat somewhere pretty good, like
BC Osaka.
Yeah, BC Osaka. I know you really like that place.
I gotta be with somebody to eat there though. But I'm definitely stopping there if it's over. This pandemic has hella stained my view of BC Osaka. Like I thought I was gonna be cool with buffets, but I realize I'm kind of not.
Yeah, I feel you there.
I do love buffets though. I don't know. Especially I give it like a year or two.
You know what was really disgusting if you really think about it? Cece's Pizza. I mean, it wasn't even good. It wasn't good, but little kids would run up there, just grab it, and they'll be like, I don't want that one. They put it back. You know what I'm saying?
Cece's is fire.
Wasn't it $5?
I don't care how much it was.
I'm saying that's worse. I'd rather just get a Little Caesars pizza. Speaking of Little Caesars, I don't have anything else to say, but Little Caesars.
They got good wings. They got really good wings.
Their wings. Their wings.
Their wings are so small. They're really little.
They're small, but they hella pack a punch. They're hella good. No,
they're really good.
Bone-in nuggets.
They're like too good. You're paying more. That's what I was just gonna say. You're paying for like 8 of them.
It's like a fourth of the mass of food, though.
It's like I don't even know what to call them because they're not wings. Like they're called wings, but I don't know what part of the
they're
chicken
nuggets with bones.
Yeah, it's like they literally took it out like chicken. Yeah, like most chicken places they take it out of the chicken. Like they take it out of the chick for those things. Like they just killed the little birds to get their meat, and there's not a lot of meat on them either. But they're good. They're really good.
They slaughtered all the baby birds. That's probably why it tastes good.
This is horrible.
Taste the innocence.
We need to get away from this. All right, let's get into some basketball now.
That's definitely the farthest we've ever strayed.
That took a right turn.
Talking about killing baby chicks.
We need to get into some basketball. The biggest news probably in the NBA right now is the fact that Blake Griffin just found a new home. He's going from Detroit to Brooklyn, teaming up with 3 All-Stars, his old teammate DeAndre Jordan. I don't know what to expect from this. It's honestly, obviously it's a good pickup for the Nets, adding another player who could pretty much do whatever he wants on the floor, at least a healthy Blake, but it does not help them out defensively at all. They're already not a great defensive team, and now you're bringing in someone who doesn't really play any defense. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'll let Choder start this one out with his take on this. What do you think about Blake to Brooklyn?
I don't really got too much to say about it. I think it's a good pickup for Brooklyn, especially after kind of sending two pretty good players in Karis LeVert and Jared Allen over to get James Harden. They get more size. I feel like, yeah, but you made up a great point that it's not going to help them on defense. But that's probably just to bring in some firepower off the bench. Like I read a report, he's probably going to be the 5 coming off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't got too much. I think he's a good fit. I think they'll all get along pretty well. I think now that he's playing for a team that's actually competing for something, I think he'll bring it. So yeah, I'm really excited for Blake. I hope he kind of bounces back because he had one really good year in Detroit, but I mean he's either been hurt or they just haven't been good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah, that was this. I had a few things to say about this topic because I think he's a wild card. Like you really don't know what you're gonna get. I think because like Chodo brought up, he did really good 2 years ago. He was averaging 24, and I remember that because
don't say it. We're not.
No, but I always bring up the fantasy team thing because that's kind of like where a lot of my knowledge about the game comes from or about stats. So I keep up with like how players are doing based on that usually because I look at the stats during the season. But that year he had a 50-point game that year and he was consistently scoring a lot. And I remember in the playoffs, they got swept, but he was like the only thing keeping them in game sometimes. And so like I do think there's still a lot of potential there, but I looked at the stats and that year he was going crazy, but the last 2 years he's only played 38 games combined.
Yeah.
And he shot under 40% from the field and he's averaging 12 points this year. So I think he's a wild card because it's like, I don't know if these past few seasons where he hasn't played well is because of motivation or injury or just he's fading away, like he's not as talented anymore. I mean, and a lot of it has to do with his athleticism, but like the year that he was averaging 24, he wasn't doing anything really with athleticism. It was kind of skill. Like that's why I think he can fit on this team because he's kind of a playmaker as a big. He's a good passer, and he's a big body. Of course, if he was athletic, still it'd be a whole different story. But I see him as like a high IQ player now with a pretty good shot too. So I think he can fit in the team really well. It's just I don't know about health because he hasn't been healthy these last few seasons, and also I don't know if he just isn't as good anymore or if it's just because he wasn't motivated. Now that he's playing with a former teammate and then they're now the title contenders, he might fit in perfectly. Plus, I do think he's going to shoot better from the field because everybody on Brooklyn gets open shots because you have to worry about everybody on Brooklyn.
Yeah. Go ahead,
I do
Ben.
think it'll work.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what Marlon said about him he's gonna be getting open a lot more. I've had like a couple arguments with people like saying like, oh, they're like, oh, Blake's washed, like he doesn't really do anything for them. But like the teams he's been on, he's never really had like a player. He's definitely never had a player like KD or Harden. I guess the best is Chris Paul. Really, he's played with. When you got him with Harden, KD, and Kyrie, like he's their fourth option. Like he doesn't need to have those 24, 25-point games. Like if he could put up 15 points, you know what I'm saying, and just be out there and be a threat. Like, I mean, that just gives so much depth to the Nets team. And I feel like they're the Nets especially are in a rotation of like one person's out load managing, and then they keep two stars in. Then it'll be like Harden's turn to load manage, and then I feel like that's what they're going to keep doing as the second half comes around. So having a player like Blake who can give you like maybe 20 if KD or Harden's out, it's going to help them like at the rest of the season and also in the playoffs. So I think it's a good pickup for them. Blake, I mean, yeah, he hasn't really had a good last 2 years, but I mean his second full year in Detroit, like the only season he played 75 games, he was an all-star. So which is the year he averaged 24. So I mean, we'll see. I think playing in Brooklyn too will, I don't know, motivate him more. Like if you're playing in Detroit and you're not really competing for anything, maybe you sit out a couple games, you just don't feel like being there. But I think he'll do well in Brooklyn.
That way.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Blake too. I mean, you remember when he came in the league, he was just this high flyer from Oklahoma. Everyone knows him for jumping over a Kia. Everyone knows him for dunk contest Blake, all of his posters. But with how much he's changed his game because of his athleticism going down with age, I mean, he's still like an athletic freak, but he's changed his game so much where he can do so much more on the floor. I mean, the dude became a real facilitator on the floor instead of just being a lob threat, a post-up threat, and a respectable three-point shooter. I really like his fit there. I really wish if he's gonna have to improve his defense, of course.
Yeah.
To be on the floor with all of them. There's already not enough defense. That's one thing with the Nets. Every single time I'm making bets, just bet the over every single game because they're gonna score at least 120, 130 points a night, but they're gonna give up about 110, 120 every night as well. And especially having DJ down low, I think it's gonna be a great fit just for the fact that he's gonna have someone he already knows right away. So the chemistry is gonna be able to fit in pretty nice. Then the big thing too as well, you're seeing Blake. We're all in agreement. It's a good fit. I wonder how well he's going to actually take coming off the bench at first, because that's going to be the first time in his career he's actually doing that. But with him doing that, and now there's another buyout rumor of somebody else getting bought out, and that's Andre Drummond. And I've heard even the Nets could be looking at Andre Drummond as well, which would be absolutely ridiculous. Just the fact that they could bring in all these guys. But that's a big guy right there where a lot of contending teams, if you don't go to the Nets, there's going to be a lot of contending teams going to want Andre Drummond as well.
Yeah. I like what you said about the defense and especially the teams that they would have to face most likely going against, Philly. Like Blake isn't going to help in trying to guard Embiid or even AD if the Lakers make it to the finals. But I do think if they get Drummond, then the season's over. You might as well just give them the crown, which is the reason I don't want him to go to Brooklyn. I think he could go to a different contending team and help out there. But yeah, I think if they get Drummond, and that kind of solves all their problems. Even if he's not necessarily the best defensive big, having a body that big in the post is still really good. And rebounding is a part of defense, and he's almost the best at that in the league. So I think that would definitely put them over the top. And it would just be kind of a perfectly constructed team at that point.
And if he's not the best at rebounding, DeAndre Jordan might as well be. I mean, if they have both of them, like, I don't know who's grabbing boards for, like, if you're the opposite team.
Yeah, at that point.
I was just going to say that, like, if Andre Drummond ends up there, it just kind of goes to show how well Brooklyn has, like, built up their organization to, like, attract guys to come in and take, like, these payouts. I'm not saying, like, someone was going to pay Blake, this any great money, but he took a 1.2, like a veteran minimum to come play for them. And that just, I think the James Harden trade and, like, how well they played after that kind of shows, like, all these, like, vets that are looking at buyouts, like Brooklyn might be the place to be because they're on the come up. Like, they just gotten so much better over the last couple of weeks, and they just play no matter who's out. They just play hard, and they pull these games out. Obviously, they got to guard a little bit better, but I think that's what could make it more attractive than going to, say, like LA, because there's all this stuff about AD being out, and it's just there's, like, all this, like, turmoil or something going on in the Lakers, like you see all over Twitter and stuff like that. But I think if either team gets Andre Drummond, Nets or Lakers, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah, I think it's eventually gonna come to the buyout situation if they're not able to move him after before the deadline. Because I know that the Bulls, there's been the rumors of the Bulls potentially trading for Drummond as well. I don't know. I'm not too much of a fan of that scenario for the Bulls. I'd rather the Bulls go after DeRozan if he's on the market. Especially because I honestly, I'm a fan of Wendell, but he doesn't have the size. but Wendell brings a lot more defensively than Drummond actually brings, other than rebounding. Because I've actually read a lot of comments like on Twitter, just certain things when the whole Drummond buyout situations come up, where a lot of Pistons fans are talking about how lazy he gets defensively, and there's times he just wants to take plays off, which is understandable. Drummond's a man among boys out there. He's a huge guy, so he's gonna get tired, but you want to see your max player not really taking some plays off, especially defensively when you're going one-on-one against Embiid or Cat, Jokic. And Embiid, he's notorious to talk about how much he's got all over Drummond in his whole career. So that's one thing, like, especially as a Bulls fan, you're gonna eventually have to run into the Sixers if we make the playoffs. And if he's already living rent-free in Drummond's head, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want Drummond to go to the Bulls just to keep the league balanced. I mean, I'm a Bulls fan. And I do think he would help because I know me and you discussed that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Drummond would help, but if not for any other reason, I would want him to go to the Bulls just to keep the league neutral, because that wouldn't really put the Bulls over the top as like a favorite or anything. They might make the playoffs after that, but it's better than him going to Brooklyn and sealing the deal for the season. Because I think it looks like they're going to win already. If they get somebody like Drummond, then it's over.
If there's an underrated team where I wouldn't mind seeing Drummond go to, a team where they've been playing good, but they need to get one player to get over the hump, I really think that he would look good on the Raptors. The Raptors need like a true big. Aaron Baines ain't really cutting it. Aaron Baines is a solid role player, but you need someone down low who's gonna make some noise. Because I've heard rumors about them maybe moving Kyle Lowry to get him out of there to go compete for a ring again. But the Raptors are still a good team. If you decide to keep Lowry and go one more run, you bring in Drummond for like second round pick and some other guy.
Another dark horse, I think, should be the Celtics for Andre Drummond too. I think he'd be a good fit there as well. He's a good fit, obviously. Any team, he's a great player.
A few teams like that.
What'd you say?
I think there's a few teams like that have like they're based around wing players that they can use like a good big. Because the Clippers are kind of a better version of the Celtics. They could definitely use Drummond, a big body like that. I think Portland could too.
Portland, and one more I'll throw out there before we even move on to a couple our next subject is the Mavericks. The Mavericks, there's all that turmoil going on with Porzingis right now too. Maybe you just make a Porzingis for Drummond flip.
Bro, what's going on with
apparently Porzingis wants out. There's just not a good relationship going on.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, it surprised me a lot when I heard it too. But if it's got to come to that, it's not a bad return you're getting if you're Cleveland, especially because you're loaded at bigs. Like, you have too many bigs. So move one, bring in Porzingis. Maybe you can make.
It's kind of an extremely tall wing anyway. So if you have like a legitimate big, Porzingis can kind of complement them well, I think.
Yeah. Any last things before we go to the All-Star weekend?
I'm good.
All right. So, the big thing yesterday, it's All-Star weekend, a little bit different than it's been in the past couple of years because of COVID. It was just, it was a little kind of hard to watch for a little bit. Not really the All-Star game, but just certain things that were going on. We'll start out first with the skills competitions. First one being, the actual skills competition, where Sabonis actually came out with the crown. A little fun fact I actually found out, because, over the last 6 years, they've actually done bigs versus guards. But out of those 6 years, a big man has won it 5 times.
Is Dinwiddie the one that didn't win it?
It does seem like it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, are we in Tatum was one of the winners too? Is he considered a big? Would you consider him a big?
No.
All right, so 4 then. He's like in the middle. We'll go 4.5. But Sabonis ended up winning it, and he actually took down Vucevic in the finals. So 2 bigs ended up making the final. That's crazy to me. that on all these years, you're not having a guard coming out on top other than Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I think like the dudes are in the All-Star game. Those dudes are just chilling. Like Doncic and Chris Paul look like they're just going through the motions. Like you could tell Sabonis was trying so hard to win. Dwayne Wade even said, he was like Sabonis was the only one out there practicing before the event, like when he was watching. So
you could tell. You could tell.
He really wanted to win, bro. It's funny. But yeah, when you get like Chris Paul, like Doncic, and you get the old vets in, I feel like they're just going through the motions. They don't even they don't care about winning. But I mean, Sabonis, like he has something to prove, I feel like. But yeah.
I'm not sure like why other guys don't really kind of want to do it. I mean, one name I saw in there that really made me scratch my head was Robert Covington. I've never seen Covington dribble in a game or pass.
The opposite of what you would think is a skill player.
He's literally
he's a wing. He's a wing.
He's Robert Covington's a great player, but I never see him do anything other than play great defense and shoot.
He's good at what he does. He's kind of like a Gobert. Like he's not. He just dribbles and defends. He's 3-and-D.
He's
like Danny Green. Like, you wouldn't expect to see Danny Green in the skills competition.
I'd be mad if I saw Danny Green.
He kind of got it because of the HBCU connection. Which shout out to that because I think
really like that.
In the HBCU as like centering it so much around HBCUs was dope because now you see more attention going to those. I think that was cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, aside from the HBCU connection, he definitely shouldn't have been there. But shout out to him for that.
He lost first round. I believe he actually lost to Vucevic.
Yeah.
In the first round, and then it was just a rough.
I like the skills challenge. It's not enough. Like you can't really show off real skills. Like the pass is kind of hard, but like the dribbling is super easy. You could have a little kid or Bob Cousy would have went crazy on that. He's dribbling around with his right hand. Or and then the pass, like I just don't really like it. I feel like it needs to be harder.
What would you change?
I think they should make the ball handling a little tougher. Like have Tony Allen guard you.
That's super hard. Get around Tony Allen.
And then Patrick Beverly on the other side.
With D-Rose, when D-Rose did, I remember they used to have a bounce pass like through the hole. I maybe add another pass would help.
Or like a certain way you got to dribble, maybe. Like you have to do behind the back this way. You have to do a spin move this way. Something like that. Because just dribbling through these huge gaps, you're pretty much just racing with the ball. Like that has nothing to do with skills. Any NBA player should be able to do that. Even Gobert can do that. And he's not a hooper. He's a basketball player.
If I ever see Rudy Gobert in that challenge, I'm going to be so mad.
It'd be, I don't know. It's just, I like the skills competition. It was a lot better. Like, I agree, when Rose was doing it. There was definitely more to it because it wasn't people lined up against each other. It was one guy at a time. And then they got timed each time. So, like, because you actually started out like this and you'd have to, like, run, do a layup and start it out. And then you went through the whole thing. And it was much better to see. Because I actually like the way the NFL changed to their Pro Bowl skills competition where, it's like the teams, there's a throwing competition, the catching competition. There's more to do in the NFL than the NBA, but you could definitely think of more things to do.
Have specific like positions too, so it makes more sense for them. Like if it was a legitimate, like something like I described where you have to do spin moves and behind the backs, like stuff like that, I think it would be guards all the time winning. Chris Paul would win every year probably if it was like that.
One thing
people like Steph would probably want to join.
One thing I would really like them to bring back. Do you remember that shooting competition that they did when it was like an NBA player, a vet, and all that? Those were fun to watch. And that Chris Bosh team was really good. Do you remember that Chris Bosh team? They won it like 3 or 4 years in a row. It was like ridiculous. What do you think, Jody?
I mean, I agree. I think it should be a little bit tougher because Sabonis, practiced for however long, and it looked like he just like went through the whole just boom, boom, like it was easy. Like every shot didn't even look like they even touched like the rim. Just like every shot was wet, every pass was on point. And I think obviously Ben said he just had something to prove. But yeah, I agree. It definitely needs to be a little bit tougher. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not a horrible competition. I think they kind of I like the bigs versus guards. It's a lot. I think that's dope. But yeah, the dribbling seems kind of easy, especially with someone like Chris Paul. But yeah, there ain't much I got to say on the skills challenge, to be honest.
I was talking to Choda earlier. I think one thing that they should definitely bring back is like a horse competition. I feel like that'd be really fun to watch. Like guys like Dame, Steph, Clay, guys could shoot out of the gym. They could do whatever they want. No dunking though. Like that's just lame. Like if Zach comes in and does like a 360 between the legs type thing, no one else is gonna do it. Like Steph's like, oh, let me try. Like, no, don't. You're gonna hurt yourself. But like shooting competition, when Steph used to, shoot in the tunnel. That was fun to watch. So if you did a horse competition, that's something that could really keep people on the edge of their seat. But not that stupid thing they did on ESPN, like back in the beginning of COVID, where people were in their own driveway doing a horse competition. No, like it's got to be in person, like a real horse competition. Speaking on that, we'll go to the next competition. The most exciting one from this weekend was a 3-point contest. That 3-point contest was legit. And the crazy part was, well, I put my money on Zach. We know how it ended going. Steph came out on top, absolutely killing it. But shout out to Mike Conley.
Yep.
Mike Conley was out there, and he was like a replacement 2 days before. And that man was cooking.
He only lost by 1.
Yeah. He really gave Steph a run for his money.
Yeah, I mean, you know how like for those who have like little siblings, when like your mom tells you to like let so and so win, like when you keep playing and you keep beating them, I think like Steph needs to like say like I'm out next year. Like it's not fun anymore just watching Steph win.
He has lost a few times though.
Yeah,
to Clay. He's lost to Clay.
Yeah, it was either one of the two. But I don't know. I just knew right when he came out, I was like, all right, this isn't even fun anymore. Like
it's a layup.
Got sharpshooters, but I mean,
was Dame in it? Oh, Dame wasn't, right? He sat out. I would want to see him in it. I don't think he's not as efficient though, so I don't think he would necessarily be as good. If it was like a deep ball competition,
there's no chance of losing. Yeah.
Well, Steph is close.
It's because I mean, even watching it, they all had great 3-point. Everyone did good, pretty much. Who was the one who didn't? There was one guy who did okay.
Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, Don didn't do great. It was Don, Zach, the 2 Celtics, Conley. Yeah, they all. Tatum advanced. Tatum had like 25.
Brown?
Yeah, Brown had like 17 or 18.
That's actually really good. 25 is good for Tatum.
Yeah, it was a really good competition. It's just that you're going against God in a 3-point shooting form, and what are you supposed to do when they
got? Sorry, Levine got like 20. Yeah,
22.
Levine got like 22 points, but like which was like average. But I looked it up, and that was like 60% from 3. Like he shot 60% from 3 with the 2 deep balls, and still didn't advance. Like
yeah, that was.
What did Steph get then?
Steph had 31 in the first round.
But I'm saying, what was the percentage on that?
I don't know.
I just saw Levine's on Twitter.
You know what sucks is if you make everything except the like money balls. Well, actually, the money balls has a whole rack. So
yeah, there's a total of 9 money balls. There's a total of 9 money balls and 2 balls that are worth like 3 points, and then the regular ones. But the fact that he scored 30, he's 3-pointers are layups for Steph. It's like not. I don't want to say it's not fun, but it's annoying. Like miss. When he's on fire, he can't miss. And
it was cool to see that because it's been a while since he's been in it, right?
I want to say a couple years.
So it was cool to see him get in and win because I really didn't know who was going to win because three-point competition is different. You know he's going to be at the top. He's not going to like have less than 20.
I'm pretty sure. Well, that's his second time winning. I don't know the exact number of two-time winners. I know Jason Capone's won it twice.
Craig Hodges, ain't it?
Craig Hodges, yeah. I think Clay's only got one. But you know, I remember watching Capone. He went back to back in like 05 and 06. And
He
it was nasty back then. Capone could shoot. Yeah. But I mean, just Steph, you know, just defining the position, changing the game forever. It's
weird seeing the 3-point challenge now because it seems like everybody can shoot. So it's like, how do you really choose who should go in? Because there's a lot of guys you can choose from. Back in the day, it was like you knew who was going to be in it. Like,
remember when Danny Green was considered an elite 3-point shooter?
Yeah.
Danny Green was
was really good though, and he had the beautiful form.
Now it's just. What?
I was just gonna say what's crazy about this year was like most of those guys like aren't like known as like just knockdown shooters. Like they're all like you had shot makers, like guys like like shot creators like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, for example. Like when I think of like some of the best shooters in the league, like I don't think of Jaylen Brown. Like I was kind of shocked he was in it, but I mean he did pretty well. But guys like Donovan Mitchell too. Like so I was I mean, I wasn't shocked to see Steph win it, but it was just fun having more than just like those guys that are just shooters on their team, like a Duncan Robinson, for example. So that what made me think is Marlyn saying like I have no idea what he's going to say. Oh, that everyone can shoot.
Now.
Yeah, a lot of those guys, you know, who were in it this year, and I'd say at least, well, there's only 6, but half of them, actually a little bit more than half, those are guys who shoot a lot off the dribble. So especially, I mean, Zach's not a spot-up shooter, but the fact he shot 60% and still didn't advance, it just shows how ridiculous like the competition's getting. And I don't know another way. I mean, the 3-point contest is the competition to watch now. It used to be the dunk contest, but now it's the 3. So I don't know a way they could change it to make it a little bit better. Maybe. Well, I saw they added 10 more seconds. You used to only get a minute. Now it's a minute 10. So maybe making a whole rack where they have like, you know, that 3-point shot or maybe like 3 shots there each. I feel like that can make it a little bit better too. Where, you know, do you have these guys shooting super far out? And that's, you know, like Marlon brought up with Dame, him being in there, that's a competition Dame would absolutely thrive in. So that's what I love about that competition. Steph is just unstoppable. If Steph wanted to, he'd win it every year. Like, if he really wanted to. But I guess those 2 years he didn't want to. I don't know what way to put it. But when you lose to Clay, who's probably the second best shooter ever, there's really not much you could do about it. But next we'll go to the disappointing dunk contest. It was pretty ugly. There was some solid dunks, but it just wasn't. It was awkward without fans.
Yeah.
You know, there was nobody jumping up for joy. There was nobody, you know, going nuts about a crazy dunk.
I feel like it was kind of destined for failure, but I think it actually exceeded my expectations, though.
I just think that, well, Cassius Stanley got absolutely robbed on his first dunk.
Yeah,
that was the dunk of the night. It was the dunk of the night, and the man got. What, a 42, 44?
44. I don't think it was a dunk.
Which one do you think was?
They were holding them. I think they were holding them to like really high standards, and so after they saw the Cassius Stanley dunk, they thought like there was gonna be better dunks, and then there just wasn't. So they were like, "Oh shit, that was the best we got."
I think he looked like the best natural dunker. I just think he probably wasn't as creative as the other two. I think the other two did a pretty good job being creative. I think the best dunk was Obi Toppin's over the 2 people, and he windmilled it too. If Anthony Simons would have kissed the rim, I think that would have been one of the best dunks of all time because it was original. He got up super high, but like I said, it was destined for failure. I think because they're 3 young guys, so I wasn't really expecting too much like innovation with the dunks. I was expecting them to kind of just do like basic generic dunks, But I think Obi Toppin and Anthony Simons did a pretty good job coming up with new ideas. Because it is hard to come up with new ideas in a dunk contest. Cassius Stanley, like I said, I think because you see how high he got up on that first one? I think he was like the best natural dunker. I just don't think his dunk ideas were good enough. That second one was hella boring. But that first one, it was basic, but it looked good though. Like he got up super high. And but I do think it wasn't a bad dunk contest. It just wasn't. It
was awkward.
Yeah, and it was quick, and like you said, it was awkward because the fans weren't there. Even the players on the sidelines weren't going crazy, and it was all right. But
I'll let Choder get into a little bit more because Choder's a Duke fan. You know, he loves Cassius Stanley.
It's not even about me. Like, yeah, I'm a Duke fan, but I've been following Cassius Stanley since he was since he was a sophomore in high school when he blew up. Because that kid he kind of peaked a little bit early. Like he, as a freshman, he's had these crazy dunk and mixtapes, and
that's what I first seen.
Right. And I've been like kind of waiting for this dude to get to the league and get in this contest. But that first dunk was really not like, it was crazy. Like the TNT guys and stuff were like, yo, this kid should run away with it. Like it shouldn't even be a competition for him. And then he got a 44 and everyone was just kind of looking at each other like, what? Like what? And then the second one, his second dunk, I think obviously like the one he pulled off, like wasn't, I mean, he got like hella high, but that was about it. But that if he would have pulled off the one he was trying to do, like the under the legs or whatever, like basically sitting in the air, that would have been sick, but he didn't get it. So I don't think he should have won or anything like that now. But I think Obi Toppin got robbed, to be honest. I thought even the one of him jumping over Julius Randle was crazy because of how big that dude is. But also the one before that where he put it like between the legs from like the free throw line, and he didn't win. I don't know. Anthony Simons dunk was all right, but I think Obi Toppin.
Free throw line was the last one, I think. Hey, I got a point to make about the scoring too, but I'll let Ben go. But just remind me if I forget.
I was just gonna say that I feel like the dunk contest, more than all the other events, is so much more about the fans and the fact that there's like not a packed arena there. Kind of, I mean, even for the judges, like the judges, if they hear loud noises, you know, they're gonna want to up the scores. It just the atmosphere is so important for the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Also, like the players there, I mean, you can tell players are losing interest in participating in it. I think they need to find a way to like incentivize it and like maybe $1 million or $500,000 to your charity or something of choice if you win it. So that way, you know, players like Ja, Zion, you know, maybe even Levine if he wants to, they got some incentive to come back and try to win for charity or something. Yeah. Right now, players are just not interested.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marlon. What do you have to say?
Oh yeah, I had a point about the scoring where like you would hear the judges too be like, oh yeah, that's a 47, that's a 50, but it's weird when you're a judge because each judge bases the dunk off of what they think it is, and there's only a few you can pick. If say I look at the dunk and I think it's a 9. If everybody else thinks it's a 9, that means it's a 45, which isn't that great of a score. So a 9 is a really good dunk. But if everybody chooses a 9, then it's a 45. It doesn't look as good. So I think they should kind of change the scoring, maybe make it out of 50 or something like that. Because I'm talking about per judge.
Mm-hmm.
If you think something should be like a 48, that's a lot more specific than a 9 or an 8. Because think about the drop off from 9 to 8. Like an 8 is a very mediocre dunk. A 9 is a really good dunk. It takes like almost a perfect dunk for a 10.
Yeah,
that's totally different dunks, and you have to choose only between 3 different scores. Yeah, so it's really hard to.
One thing I really look at too is just how fabricated the dunk contest is. There's been a lot of 50s that did not deserve 50s.
Yeah.
And it's gotten very watered down, especially in the fact of certain, you know, dunks have gotten 50s, but now it's like, how did that get a 50? But that's a better dunk and you only gave it a 48. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I agree with you a lot with certain things like that, but with the dunk contest also, I liked how when D Wade and Kenny saw that dunk that Stanley did, he saw the scores that they gave him, and then he was like, all right, I want to see you guys try to do that dunk.
Yeah.
Like they could not have done that dunk that he just did, even in their primes.
I think they could.
I look at Dominique, right? Dominique won a dunk contest doing the same dunk 5 times. How did each one of those dunks deserve a 45 or higher? Like all he did was a windmill. Let someone do the same dunk every single time now, and they're not winning.
It is a lot harder now because you have to be more original. But I do like the fact that it's people who won the dunk contest before because they're going to be more critical. But I think they started off, they try to set the tone of like they're not just going to give anything to 10. And I think it kind of backfired because I think Cassius Stanley had a good dunk that they just kind of underrated. Yeah. And he got a 37 the next time. Well,
like even the one dunk that Anthony did, not the kiss the rim dunk, but the one where he just jumped up to grab the ball and dunk it. There wasn't anything he jumped up insanely high, don't get me wrong. But that wasn't more deserving than Cassius's dunk. Not at all. But
they got up the heights. It just
But I really really did like his kiss the rim dunk. Of course, I understand why he didn't. You're gonna get a little hesitant to actually kiss the rim because you could probably break your teeth. Like if you really try to kiss the rim. Like I look at that dunk as kind of as underrated how Gerald Green's blow out the candle dunk was, where you didn't appreciate how good it was until you saw it in slow motion and actually saw it from a different angle.
I think he needs to redo that and just post it on Twitter or something.
Oh, Gerald Green's?
No, I'm talking about Anthony Simon.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but like actually like correctly.
Yeah.
He got up high enough.
That was a really clever dunk. I've never thought of that before. You know, MJ's
it's kind of basic, but it's like it could be an iconic moment.
Yeah, like how Michael Jordan actually had his kiss the rim dunk without kissing it, but this guy actually almost kissed the rim. It was really, really good, but this whole dunk contest thing got me thinking of what could be a potential perfect dunk contest by picking out the ultimate dunk contest of players who have never done a dunk contest or have done it in the present or just players now. So if we could all pick 4 guys to actually do a dunk contest with, who you take?
We're gonna come up with one together.
Just come up with 4, and then we'll see what we think. We'll let Ben go first. We'll let Ben go first. You come up with your dunk contest field.
Come up with 4.
4 guys.
Come up with one together, like finalize one.
You gotta have Vince in there, so I got Vince. I kind of was thinking in the back of my head a little bit. So I'm putting Jason Richardson in.
Okay. I like that.
I was battling between Dominique and Jordan, but like they weren't as creative. I mean, I feel like you have to have Jordan in it just because it's Jordan. I also kind of want to. I don't know if I'll get.
Huh?
Hold up one sec. You were just breaking up. What'd you say?
I kind of want to put Levine in it.
Oh, okay.
What was it? What was the last time you heard?
So I heard you say Levine. So you said Carter, Richardson, Jordan, Levine.
I thought about Jordan. I didn't know for sure, but I think I'm gonna do it because I think you just need to have Jordan in, just because it's Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking about LeBron, like prime LeBron, or Levine. I don't know because I don't know how creative LeBron could get because we've never seen him do like a dunk contest dunk. Obviously, he does like freakishly athletic dunks all the time in game, but like, yeah, I think I could go Dominique too, though. That's the thing. I'm gonna go Levine. I might get some hate from that, but I'm gonna go Levine.
All right. Hey, we'll let Choder go. All right, Choder, who's your 4?
My 4. So I got my 2 top guys that came off the top of my head was definitely MJ and Vince. I'm kind of just following off with Ben, but definitely I gotta put Zach LaVine in there because that dude, his 2 dunk contests were crazy. I feel like I saw this today, and it was someone made a really good point. I feel like we got spoiled back in those two like dunk contests that he was in, because now like every dunk contest we're kind of hoping to see like something even better when you literally like him and Aaron Gordon made the best dunk contest of all time.
They had like 5 years worth of dunks in one dunk contest.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And I maybe not now, but definitely would have loved to see a young LeBron in that thing for sure. Because LeBron, some of the way he used to get up, bro, different. So yeah, Bron, MJ, Vince, LaVine.
Marlon.
I have the exact same one. I think LeBron and Mike. I was thinking about it when I was on the toilet. I'm like, I want to combine really good dunkers with iconic guys who can also dominate in the dunk contest. I think if Jordan was in a dunk contest now, his dunks would be just as good. It was just he didn't have anything to base it off back then, so of course he did the basic dunks, which wowed everybody then. But and then LeBron, he was athletic enough back in the day to do almost anything that LaVine could do. Probably it is something about like LaVine's lanky like squiggliness that helps him with his dunks.
Squiggliness.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, but I've never heard it referred that way. I think doing this helped a little bit too.
Yeah.
All right. So for mine, I'm gonna be a little different here. I feel like these guys could all have a consideration in this. First guy,
Richardson was a horrible pick.
First guy I'm going with is Froby Bryant. I'm gonna go with a young Bean.
I'm not mad at that. I was thinking.
I would love to see a young Kobe go up again in a dunk contest. We all knew how great Froby could fly, so I think that's somebody I would definitely want to see in there. The next guy I'm going with, that I'm hoping he does it eventually, I'm going Zion. Zion is, with what we've seen him do in high school, I want to see it in the NBA so bad. I think he can really wow some people in a dunk contest. That's just somebody I really, really want to see. I don't think he'll ever do it. I think he's going to give us the LeBron treatment. But it's sad. I really hope it would happen. I'm just trying not to say anybody that you guys have said, but these are all guys that I've actually written down. Next guy I'm going, that we were actually discussing him a little bit, I'm going to go Gerald Green, with how that man could fly. That dude was absolutely ridiculous. And I would love to see him doing another dunk contest, because he was also very creative in his dunks that he did. And the last guy that I'm going, I have two guys that I would love. One of them did a dunk contest, one of them didn't. I'll say the first one. I'm going to say Blake. A young Blake Griffin was phenomenal. Insanely athletic. I would love to see him do one again. And the last guy, I'm surprised none of you three actually said him, but I'm going to young D Rose. For with how high D Rose could get, I think he would be a great dunk contest kind of guy.
I was thinking about him.
I like that one.
Not over any of the guys we said though. I don't think, but I mean it would be cool. I was thinking about Zion. I wanted to put Zion in, but I something about his like big bulky frame that I think that I just didn't really like. Going against the other guys that I said, something about that body type I feel like it just makes for better dunks. But it would be cool to see like somebody that like bulky in a dunk contest. So
it'd be like different. It's definitely something like you never see before. Another guy I wanted to throw in there a little bit, but I didn't make the top of my list. But I was gonna go Dwight Howard, just from his monumental dunks in the dunk contest and how memorable they were. Regardless if you want to call it a thrunk or a dunk, doesn't matter to me. That Superman dunk is one of the most iconic dunks I've ever seen. Obviously the show he put on beforehand of just him putting on the cape and everything as well made it phenomenal. Wasn't
it just free throw line?
Yeah, but he also threw it like when he was halfway there, which made it even better. If it like the fact that it all happened on the first try made it one of the best dunks ever. I don't even care. But honestly, I think that any of those guys can make it great. Obviously, I would obviously consider LaVine, Carter. I was trying to throw some more names out there so we can get some other guys going as well. But I think that one thing that could also help the dunk contest too, if they were to expand the field and make it kind of like a bracket type play instead of you just getting 2 dunks and you advance. But if you could get actual great guys to actually go and compete, obviously Cassius Stanley was a fantastic dunker, but nobody wants to see a G leaguer in the dunk contest. We remember what happened when they brought up Derrick Jones Jr. What was it, 4 years ago? And he could fly, but just didn't do great.
He's turned out to be a decent player, though.
He has.
And I think Cassius Stanley will too, bro, for sure.
I hope he does.
Take me account for that now.
Going there, we're talking about how we want to get some big name players in the dunk contest, but all the big name players are involved in the All-Star game. In this one, it was Team LeBron taking down Team Durant 170-150. Wasn't really much of a competition. First half was kind of close. That third quarter just got bad. And then, they honored Kobe in that fourth quarter. First one to 24 points from the winning team score. We'll start with Choder on this one. What's your biggest takeaways from this game?
How did LeBron end up with 3 top 5 point guards? That's crazy to me. LeBron ended up with Steph, Chris Paul, and Dame. What? And he sat the bench, and they still he sat for most of the game.
I think he only played 13 minutes.
That team is crazy stacked. I don't got too much to say about it. The fourth quarter was I lost my train of thought. It was entertaining at the end, but then when you start seeing half court shots being pulled up and stuff, I mean that kind of stuff is just when there's no defense being played. And I get it. It's just basically you're just playing pickup and just having fun with it for the fans, especially because this year has been so crazy and there have been no breaks and they're probably overplaying, night in, night out like that. But I don't know how LeBron ended up with he's going to be a great GM. That's all I got to say. Such a stacked team. Crazy.
Go ahead, Benjamin.
Just another event kind of ruined by COVID because, it would have been a lot closer. I mean, it wasn't ruined. I liked it, but it would have been a lot closer had KD. Oh, I don't know why KD actually sat out exactly.
He's been hurt the last month or something.
Yeah, but Embiid and Simmons, if they were able to play, if Embiid was able to start on KD's team, I'm sure it would have been a little closer because Embiid's always competitive pretty much in everything. I wouldn't see him slacking off as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of agree with Choder. I mean, I would say the half court shots were kind of annoying, but they made 70% of them, which is kind of crazy. Another big takeaway, I was just looking at the box score just randomly. Chris Paul had a 26 plus minus. It was bad, which is actually I'm just looking at it right now, and he had 16 assists. That was a quiet 16 assists he had. But obviously Giannis couldn't miss. But it was fun to watch. It's always fun the last quarter, but hopefully it'll be closer next year. And I like that they keep doing the captains because it can be uneven with the East and West.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad Levine got his, got some time, got some points. And it's always hard to score. I'm surprised he got 13 with guys like Harden and Kyrie on his team, to be honest. But
right,
it was fun. That's another thing. I wish some more dancers on.
You broke. What'd you say, man? You broke up a little bit.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with my thing. I just said basically, I'm surprised Levine scored as many as he did with Harden and Kyrie being on the same floor as him. And also, I wish Zion would have, done more. I mean, he had 10 points, but he couldn't really get the dunks to fall early on, and I wish I would have saw some more windmills and stuff from him. But that's all I got.
That's a good point.
I don't have much to say. I will say I actually like the half court shots. I mean, you don't really expect anybody to guard a half court shot because you don't think they're gonna make it. But the fact that they took them and made them, I think, made the game even better. Because what is you don't want just a hard, normal, competitive game with drawn up plays. You just want them to kind of entertain you. So shoot half court shots, I think, was cool. And then I just think the only part that was boring was when it was becoming a blowout because the team LeBron was just so much better. So the only thing I'd say is I think it would have been much better if everybody was playing. Like, because it's funny how like it starts off as 24 All-Stars, but it's double that by the time the All-Star game comes around because everybody got hurt. It ended up being like 28 All-Stars or something like that.
Yeah.
It is cool that like some guys who weren't who you felt might have got snubbed got an All-Star nod because other guys got hurt, so they still got that All-Star by their name. But I feel like Mike Conley was just there, so they were like, "Yeah, you can come in the game," because I think there's other people that could have made it before him.
Definitely DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. Like there's definitely a few guys who could replace him. But yeah, I just think it would have been a lot more competitive if like Embiid, Simmons, and Booker and KD played. It wouldn't have been a blowout like that, I don't think.
And Anthony
that's
Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the first half was good. The first half was definitely very competitive. Team KD had no size. That's one thing. They just didn't. I mean, Team LeBron had
They just didn't play.
Yeah, they had Sabonis, they had Jokic, Giannis, Gobert. This team was huge. It was just they couldn't stop them. The fact that Giannis was 16 for 16 from the field and he was banking in 3-pointers just pretty much summed up the night for Team KD. It was just ridiculous. I think this game, I mean, this wasn't really a debate, but it pretty much solidified Curry and Dame as like the two best point guards, and like there's not really close to anybody else. They're in just a class of their own. I don't think he's not in their class though. He's
not as good as them.
No, he's a level under them.
Hey Ben, remember that debate of Kyrie versus Steph, first senior year of high school?
Yeah, I mean,
I pretty much did a personal poll. I asked like 30 people who was better, and majority said Kyrie. I think it was just a lot of Steph hate at that time.
Yeah,
but
I mean, obviously things have changed, but like that's fun. I still think of that time to time.
He had these, but now it's just I want to rub it in everybody's face. Like, yeah, I'm hella right. But I do think Kyrie. One of the arguments I had back then was like, Kyrie is just like a weapon. He's dope. He's cold. But Steph is like a foundation of a team. Like he literally changed the league, and you can build a team around somebody like that. Somebody that creates that much space, who runs off screens like that. Whereas Kyrie is just like a bucket getter when you need it. And so that's the only reason I think Kyrie isn't in that class, because he isn't like a team builder. He's just a weapon. But I do think he's close to them. That brings up an argument we can have another day.
Yeah, definitely. That was one thing, and the last thing that I don't think a lot of people really thought about, the fact that I think Jokic is low key one of the most entertaining players in basketball. Not even like on the basketball floor, but that man is so subtly hilarious, just in the way he does things. Like, I mean, there was videos of him yesterday where he was just dancing awkwardly on the like while sitting on the bench, and it was horrible. But that man was getting it. Like, he was for real dancing. He was like feeling himself, and then they're throwing him oops, but he can't dunk, so he's laying all these oops up, and it was bothering me like a lot.
His physical build kind of reminds me of Choder.
I was gonna say that's coming from me. He is a big goofy dude, and I am.
He's actually pretty coordinated though.
Like the fact that he'll be in transition and he'll look at you and then hit you with like a behind the back pass, but perfectly placed. I mean, perfectly placed.
He kind of has that. Yeah. He kind of has that squiggliness I was talking about with Levine,
but he can't dunk.
He's on the ground. Yeah. He has no. It's not bouncy. He's just squiggly.
Jokic is like a dad if he played basketball. He's like, let me see the ball, young blood, and then he pulls all this out.
Yeah, and then he even like his fadeaways are like sloppy and lazy. But it goes in every time. He's the highest PR in the league.
And
He's just
I mean,
a seventh.
the best part that I saw
player.
yesterday to bring out how funny he is when Giannis won MVP and then he handed the trophy to Jokic. You know, he wanted to like start shaking up on everybody, and Jokic just walked away with the trophy. He just left. Like, yo, that's not yours. But
you still got it.
yeah. No, but he's awesome. I like the way that I love the way it went, and I'm just hoping we get more. It's gonna be more competitive next year. Of course, you know, you're gonna have some guys who like Clay is gonna be back. Durant will be in the game next year. You're gonna have all these guys who, you know, should be all-stars. I hope we get some new all-stars too. Like there's a lot of sleepers this year of like young guys.
It was cool to see that this year.
What?
Like Levine and Randall.
Oh yeah,
It was cool
for
to
sure.
see that.
I'm hoping we get to see more next year. Especially as you know, our generation of guys are all starting to slowly get older. Like, I don't know how it's gonna be the first time we see an all-star game, you know, without LeBron. Like, that's gonna be weird.
Cause like, it's like all the new generation guys are coming in.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we could talk about another day too. Is like, who's gonna like lead the next generation? Who's the next LeBron? We need
Patrick
a star
Williams.
like that. Who's it gonna be? He's gonna be the
Gotta go.
guy, man.
It's gonna be Patrick Williams. But talking about that, you know, hitting our last subject here about All-Star Weekend, I had a really good idea of a way that they can make the All-Star game better. And that is by turning it into just teams playing each other, turning it into a 3-on-3 tournament. I think the players would turn that super competitive. The fact that, you know, you'll have all these guys, and, you know, like Marlyn said, make it for a charity. The winning charity will get like 500K, $1 million or something. Was that Ben who said that?
That's a good idea.
Ben.
Just give it.
One of you guys said it. You guys are both at the bottom of my screen, but one, you know, make it.
You said Marlyn said that Ben had a rage inside of him. He just
that was me. But I'm thinking when we do a draft, since this is Ben's first show here, we'll give him the first pick, and it's also because I did a random order generator and your name ended up first, so it was really convenient for that. But the draft is gonna go Ben, Choder, Marlyn, me, and we'll do a snake order. So I'll get the first pick in the second round, and we'll actually pick 4 guys for the team to have 1 guy as like your reserve. But we're not just drafting based on the best player available, but it's also going to be, you're trying to build a team that you think would fit really well on like a 3-on-3 blacktop, but only from the 24 All-Stars. That makes sense?
The ones that played?
The ones that played in the game. So no KD, no AD, no Book, and no Embiid or Simmons.
That's people.
So you
All right.
Ben's got the first pick. I'll make sure to mark down who we get. So we all get 4 picks though.
On it.
Oh god.
Let's see. I don't want to be this guy, but you know, I gotta pick someone who can do it pretty much all. I'm gonna go with Giannis as my first pick.
Nice.
Yeah, guy. Just him. Yeah, I feel like he can guard pretty much anyone on the floor. So I mean, he'll guard the center if you guys draft him. But like, I don't know. He's just a cheat code. I mean, 16 or 16.
Yeah.
He'll just
That's a really good pick.
It's no brainer for me.
You can't go wrong with that at number 1.
I think you can.
So Choder, you're up next.
I'm gonna go with the guy who I felt like had a great night as well, but since Giannis didn't miss, it kind of went a little bit overshadowed. But I'm gonna go with Steph. Steph was hooping all night, so I'm gonna go. And you give Stephen Curry that much space in a 3-on-3, it's over with.
Good pick. Good pick.
Who do you think?
Marlyn.
Okay. All right, let's see. This is actually pretty tough.
Is that who you wanted?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Steph.
That's how I know it's a good pick.
But now you got Lillard, Kyrie. Kyrie would be a dope 3-on-3 player, but I think so with Dame. Dame would really stretch the floor. But then LeBron. Luka's a beast too, but I it's literally an all-star team, so
there's no bad picks.
yeah, because I want to go Jokic. All right, here, let me just shut up. Hold on.
We gotta give him a clock.
Jokic. I'm going
Jokic.
Jokic. But LeBron. But Jokic.
You're a Dame Lillard, and you went with Jokic.
Now, where
Jokic
I'm
is
looking,
like we talked
here,
about the fundamental 3-on-3 dad guy. He's a beast in a 3-on-3. So I'm gonna go Jokic.
for me here,
I wanted him.
where I'm looking, I need someone who's going to just dominate in, especially 3-on-3. It's going to be half court, so it doesn't involve a lot of running. I'm going Zion. No one's going to be able to stop Zion to go get a rebound. He's going to go up and go get some oops. So I'm going Zion right there. And then with my next pick,
his second jump is within his first jump. You're like, how is he up again? Missed.
and my next pick, where I'm going to go, this might be a wild card. I don't think that you guys are going to think this guy. I mean, you guys are probably all surprised I'm not going to go LeBron here. I'm actually going to go Zach LaVine. In a 3-on-3 game, the way that Zach plays, I think that he'd be great in 3-on-3 in a half court, especially going off the dribble. So I'm going to go Zach.
All right, so Robert already lost. So let me see.
I want to see Jokic try to guard Zion.
I could have got Jokic second, but I'm glad you didn't pick any of the good guys. Third. Because yeah. I mean, I'm saying I could have got him on my second pick, but luckily Rob picked some horrible pieces.
Yeah,
so I still pretty much got everybody who I can get. I think I'm gonna go. Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna go LeBron because it's disrespectful to not pick LeBron. He's what is this?
Dropped this far?
Like sixth now. Yeah, LeBron should never drop this far in the draft. So I'm gonna go LeBron and Jokic.
Is me.
Your team will have some beautiful passing, but who's gonna shoot? Yeah. Like, no, you shoot it. Shoot it.
Both of them can shoot good enough. And who's gonna guard them in the post? You got LaVine and Zion. Who's gonna guard Jokic?
Wait till I get Gobert.
That's hella funny. But
you said it works at basketball.
They're not gonna score from the only person who can score from the outside is Zach.
I still have 2 more picks.
No, it's 3-on-3.
Yeah, but you have 1 sub. So Schroeder's pick though. It's Schroeder's pick.
Nerd.
I'm gonna go. Sorry, I'm gonna go Kawhi. I know it's kind of a weak.
That's a pretty good pick. Hella boring, but pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Who was your first again?
Steph.
It's the total. Like, I don't want to say it's the total opposite of Steph, but it's like the total opposite of Steph. So they fit well together,
Yeah.
He's gonna lock up Zach LaVine. I'll tell you that right now.
You gonna put Steph on Zion?
I have 2 other picks. I think I'll figure it out.
All right, Benjamin. Benjamin got back-to-back here.
That first pick wasn't bad, Rob.
I got back-to-back, you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will. My first pick, since it is half court, I don't really need an athletic guy, I don't think. So I'm gonna take one of the best, highest IQs in the game and get Chris Paul as my point guard.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that.
I like it.
Giannis and Chris. That's
hella
lobs.
So I'm looking at and then I just need a bucket for ISO.
I know who he's
I'm gonna go Harden.
Harden.
That's hella wrong. I thought you were gonna go with Beal or Kyrie.
Wait, you thought he was gonna go with who?
I thought he was gonna go with Bradley Beal. I don't know. It was a horrible.
Yeah.
It was a horrible.
My team's kind of like everywhere, but like I mean, it's all right. I got 2 defensive players and then the score.
Your team has a lot of dribbling.
Yeah.
But as we've seen with
that team would work.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Schroeder.
My turn. Shoot. What I got Steph, Kawhi. This is my third.
I like that.
My bad. I might want to. Harden got taken, right? Yeah, I wouldn't pick him anyways. I do need some size, but there's like no size left.
There definitely is some size left.
There is. I just don't want to pick him. I'm not picking this dude.
Hey, that's literally what
he's already crossed off.
I need some
my
size.
roster.
I'm gonna take some bonus.
Let me get some bonus. Yeah.
That's really how I'm feeling right now. Nah, I'm gonna go.
I mean, he has no offensive skill.
I don't know who to take.
Who do you have? You got
Steph and Kawhi.
Stephen, that's a good two though, and you do need size because neither one of them.
Not picking him. I'm not picking him. I'm gonna go. This is a weak pick. I don't want to take this dude.
Do it.
I'm gonna go with Sabonis. I hope Rudy Gobert sees that, takes it personal. You suck, Rudy.
I wish I could say it about Sabonis what I said in the group chat, but I can't. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Size, we'll go with Sabonis.
Let me get a number. Let me get a number 0. Let me get Dane.
That was gonna be my next pick. That was next pick. I have his jersey on. Why'd you do that to me?
I was gonna go with him, but I have Steph.
Like I said, I do need to spread the floor. I already got some size, so.
Good pick, bro.
I think I won so far.
I was running away with this right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
I'm gonna go next.
You got Harden. You got Giannis and Chris Paul. That's good. It's not my team. But.
It's gonna get better too.
Right here, I'm needing. Nah, I can't go.
There's some.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Tatum.
That's only your third, right?
Yeah, I have one more pick. So I mean, Tatum could do a little bit of everything. And he brings me some size to my team as well.
He's like 6'10".
And after that, my last pick, I'm gonna go Luka.
That's a good pick.
Solid.
Still lost, but that was a good pick.
It's a steal at 4.
Let me go with Mr. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie. Bucket. I wanted both of them. So that's actually, you guys are kind of horrible at this. You guys let me get everybody I want.
That's not that horrible, but okay.
You got some bonus.
Not that bad of a pick. I mean, he's my worst pick.
You know what's funny,
you,
Rob?
You have a good team. Go ahead.
So Rob, I was actually scared about you getting Rudy Gobert. I kind of didn't want you to get Rudy Gobert. I'm glad you didn't pick him.
I really hope he doesn't get picked.
All right, Chota, your pick.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not getting picked.
You should have went Randall instead of Sabonis. Now that I think about it.
I know. I'm not picking Randall just because you said that though.
No, it's too late now unless you just went 2 bulky power forwards.
I'm gonna go with a guy who's been putting up numbers this year. And since I'm gonna go with Brad Beal.
I like that.
My 4th. Steph and Beal, Kawhi can lock up, and you got Sabonis to handle someone like a kind of handle Zion.
Competition, you can end it, Ben. If you pick a good enough guy, I'll concede. But I don't think there's anybody left that can beat my team.
I mean, I'm just picking up another guy who could play defense in case we need to take Harden out.
Don't do it.
So I'm gonna take Paul George.
Okay, good pick.
That was Loki, who I was debating with on my last pick, but I don't want it to come down to the last shot, and it's in his hands.
And it's in the side.
Yeah, because honestly, all the guys you got aren't really.
Give it to Harden.
Chris Paul, Giannis, PG, and Harden.
See,
None of them are known for being last shot takers.
low key, what I was kind of thinking
We don't
too.
need the last shot because we're gonna blow you away.
One thing I was kind of thinking about too, like low key, I kind of want to do like a simulation in 2K to see what happens with these teams, like on a blacktop type scenario. So I'm probably gonna do that once we're done here, and I'll let you guys know how it goes.
You don't have to because I won.
No, I'm gonna do it,
guys,
and it's gonna be funny when you lose.
LeBron,
So
Kyrie, Jokic is damn near like top 3 clutchest players in the league. He makes hella game winners, which is hella funny. And Dame is the most.
So I'll do a sim. Me and Ben will play each other first. Since he had the first, I had the last pick, and you two will play each other, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I'll just cut out like the last guys on our teams. Because of that'd be like our bench guy. So we'll just do it with our starting lineups. But yeah, I honestly think this is pretty good. If we can come up with more things coming up, next week, potential draft type things, I think we should definitely do it. Spices up the conversation a lot as well. So I think that'd be fun. But this was the 3rd edition of the Step Back here on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everything you could possibly think of. I want to thank Ben for joining us this week. Definitely be back next week. We're gonna go into more things as well. We'll go into more things as well. Predicting the second half of the season, potential trades, everything you could possibly think of. And we'll talk a little bit about the March Madness bracket too, because that definitely deserves some shout outs going, especially because, Ben's got a team that might make a little bit of a run. So we'll be back next week. Make sure subscribe, everything you got to do. Give us 5 stars. We definitely need it. And we definitely appreciate everything, but we'll be back next week. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.